Welcome to your yoga practice. It is Friday, February 28th, our last day of exploring Satya, truthfulness, although all of the yama and niyama kind of blend into each other, just like truthfulness and nonviolence or compassion of ahimsa, they all just mesh. So we'll keep revisiting it. A quick thought as Trudy is settling in on the couch. My puppy's belly is not super happy, so if I have to jump up at any point to let her out, I will be right back. All right, let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You can bring your hands into Jnana Mudra, index finger and thumb tips touching, resting your hands on your lap in a way that feels good. And taking some deep breaths while I share a mantra. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Vritomya Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Breathing deeply, nice slow, full breaths. And that blessing or prayer can be translated to lead us from ignorance to knowledge. May our practice lead us from darkness to light, from the temporary to the eternal. Peace, peace, peace. And our thought regarding truthfulness from Nikolai Bachman: a clear and compassionate heart-mind perceives reality as it actually is. In my search for truth, I can change my mind when new and sensible information presents itself. Talk about flexibility. Let's go ahead and bring some movement into our bodies now, starting with just the eyeballs. So if you have a block really handy, it can be fun or not to balance the block on your head. This can really reveal if we're wobbling our heads around while we're trying to just move the eyes. So sitting up nice and tall with dignity, with or without a blockhead. And we'll move just the eyeballs all the way over to the left. Stay there for a breath. And then come back through center and look all the way over to the right. So for some of us, even staying for just a breath can trigger a yawn, toning the vagus nerve, especially if we're wound a little tight. Let's look all the way up and through center and then all the way down. Really good for our optic and vagus nerves. Look all the way over to the left again. Come back through center. All the way to the right and through center. Look all the way up and through center, all the way down and through center. Do it one more time at your own pace, really trying to pay careful attention to any areas of tension that might pop up in your body as you do this. So we're really only trying to engage with the eye muscles. Of course, our body's engaged, we're sitting upright, but you might just notice if other things clench and tense. And it's just information, we're just noticing, no judgment. And eventually coming back through neutral, take your eyes in a big circle, looking all the way up, and then drawing like a clock all the way around over to 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Do that another time or two, trying to have the eyes move in a smooth circle. You might notice that there's areas that your eyes kind of jump or skip over. Just try to smooth it out on the next time. And after you've done it about 3 times, we'll go the other direction. Getting a good stretch through the eye muscles. And after you've done that about 3 times, come back through neutral. Let's rub the hands together. Remember, we can always adjust our seat. You don't have to stay glued in one spot. Big breath in. And exhale, cover your eyes with your warmer hands. And maybe here you even open your eyes and try to create total darkness. And imagine that you can look into the far, far distance here. Let your breath be slow and full. One more cycle. And then we can release our hands down. Take the head over to your right. So looking over your right shoulder. As you get there, pull your eyes all the way to the right also. And then slowly release through center and do the same to the other side. And release through center. Let's take our head carefully in a full circle. You might even use your hands to support this. Moving the head in a circle, nice and slow. So a lot of traditional yoga practices, it really wasn't about making pretty poses. It was literally lubricating the joints, just keeping the body functioning well. Switch directions of your head circles. And I've taken a few classes like that, and they were interesting. We were just going joint by joint, finger by finger, wrist by wrist. So we can tend to ourselves maybe tomorrow morning when you wake up without mindful mornings, just thinking about that, moving all the joints in your body. Let's go ahead and bring our heads through neutral and give the wrists and fingers a circle and wave, thinking about all of the work this body part does for you. And then elbows, let's extend the arms and bend them. Shoulders, let's take each shoulder through its range of motion. Be nice and careful, especially those nursing shoulder injuries. Trying to move through what's available to you. You don't have to force anything. And the next time your right arm comes up and back, go ahead and let your spine twist with it. We'll settle in for a breath. Twisting. Good. Come back through center. Lift that left arm up and back, twisting the other direction. And release through center. Let's go ahead and stand up. We'll keep with this joint movement. Standing up, put a little bend in your knees, hands can be on your thighs, and we'll flex our spine forwards and backwards, just like cow and cat. Earlier this week, we played with covering the top lip with the bottom lip. So that way when you lift your chin, you're getting more of a stretch on the front of your throat. Maybe you do that. Oh, the joys of a home yoga practice. Who cares what we look like? And when we realize how good it feels to not care what we look like, then we can start looking wacky in public. And I think that's even more fun. It gives other people the freedom. We are liberators. All right, standing up nice and tall. Hands to hips. You can take a slightly wider stance, and let's take a big circle with our hips. I'm not sure that it means anything. Just notice what direction you circled first. We tend to kind of have similar dominant preferences throughout the body. And our yoga practice, again, with liberation, great time to disrupt those patterns and preferences. So go ahead and switch directions. Let the movement be as big as you can. And then we're going to try one hip, one leg at a time. So you can see if you can balance on one leg. If that's not working, just move to a piece of furniture or wall if you have it available. If not, then just kind of do what you can. You can keep a toe on the ground as you circle. But take one leg as big of a circle as you can. Another option would be to hop down onto all fours. And then we'll circle the other direction. Good, and then switching legs. And switching directions. All right, wonderful. Bring your feet closer together, hands to knees, and we'll draw little circles here. And switch directions. My PT friends assure me that the creaking and crunching is not necessarily a bad thing, so I'll just pass on the good news. All right, and then we can stand up tall and try to shake out one of your ankles. You might need to use support again. Give it a little shake, and then shake it side to side. Take the ankle in a circle each way. And we'll switch sides. Shaking, kind of flopping that foot. Then try to shake it the other way. And draw some circles. And the other way. There's something very childlike about this to me. I don't know. Does anyone else feel like we're in elementary school? Okay, standing tall at the top of your mat. If you like using blocks as you flow through lunges, you can put those towards the top of your mat. And then on an inhale, let's reach our arms out and up, big stretch. And exhale, fold yourself all the way down. On your inhale, lift up halfway, shoulder blades slide together, look ahead. Exhale, fold down, let the head drop heavy. Inhale, make your way all the way up. Reach up in a way that your arms like reach into the sky. And exhale your hands to your heart. Pausing here for a couple breaths, we can put that little bend in our knees and then stand up tall again. Doing that a couple of times with the intention of rooting down into the ground. So that way this next time we stand up tall, keep pushing your feet down. See if you can get taller and taller, higher and higher. Next inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky and fold yourself down to the ground. Go ahead and plant your hands on the blocks or earth and step the right foot way back in space, dropping the right knee, untucking the toes. And if you've got blocks, I've got mine on their medium height. We'll just push forwards and then backwards a little bit. So just dipping into the hip and into the joints a little bit more, some safe strain on the joints. Good. And then we'll straighten the left leg, pulling the hips back in space. You can keep your hands planted up by the left foot or move them back by your hips. See what feels right to you. Whatever you do, imagine pulling your heart forward. So for now, we're extending or pulling the spine forward, pulling the heart forward. Shoulder blades can slide together and down a bit. Let's go ahead and flex the left ankle. So the left toes point up at the sky. Imagine pulling your left hip back in space. Folding forwards and down. Doesn't have to be a big movement. I'm realizing my hamstrings are like always sore, so I'm starting to keep a bend in the knee all the time. That way I'm not overstretching them. So you might just pay attention to that. You can still have a stretch without forcing things straight. And then see about bringing the left toes back down to the ground. Try to really grip the mat with the roots of your toe joints. And see if you can find a stretch on the top of your left foot. You might even bring one hand to that area and massage. Good, bend into your left knee. Carefully pivot on the right knee so the right foot will come back behind you. And then we'll cartwheel our arms up, finding a low warrior two. Good. You could stay still or move. Inhale, lifting the left arm up and back, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Just a few breaths. And then bringing your hands back to the blocks or ground. Careful on that right knee. Return the right foot back behind you, facing forward. Then hands down to the ground. Making your way to plank or low plank. Good. Here we really push the ground away. Imagine the spine lifting up to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Point your toes back. On your inhale, find your cobra. Take whichever one you like best. So maybe you're keeping it low. Maybe you're lifting your hands. Maybe pushing the hands into the ground, lifting the chest more. One is not better than the other. And on your next exhale, lower it down, release. You can take a breath in and sigh it out. All right, then we'll tuck our toes, push ourselves up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathing here. You might take some movement. You might shake the head out a little bit. And then see if you can settle towards stillness for about 3 breaths. Pushing the ground away, the shoulders are sliding up towards the ears. Remembering tabletop, puppy pose, down dog at a wall, these are always all options. And from downward facing dog, we'll step the right foot to the top of the mat. If you like three-legged dog, go for it. Reaching the right leg up and then swinging it forwards. And we'll lower down the left knee, untucking the toes. If you like blocks, you can bring them under your hands and shifting the hips down and back, exploring into that joint. Good, then straightening your right leg, shifting the hips back in space. Bring the hands back with you if you like. Remember, it's okay to keep softness in the right knee, but imagine pulling the right hip back in space. And then flex the right ankle, toes pointing up to the sky. Keep pulling the right hip back, some gentle traction. Lifting the heart, shoulder blades sliding together and down. Go ahead and bring the right foot back down to the ground. Look for a stretch or sensation on the top of your right foot. We can bring a hand to it if we want. Always nice too to send some gratitude to these body parts and areas. Seems to be kind of a habit for a lot of humans to only acknowledge our bodies when they're giving us troubles, so we can thank them for the ways that they do work. All right, then we'll bend the right knee, walk your hands forward, careful pivot on your left knee, and cartwheel your arms up, finding this low warrior two. Good. If you want to flow with it, flip your right palm to the sky. Inhale, reverse low warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Go with that several times. Deep breaths. All right, and on an exhale, bring your hands to frame the right foot. Careful, pivot on your left knee. And we'll make our way back to plank pose. Knees up or knees down. Take a breath in, you are strong. Take a breath out, you can let go. And find your cobra pose. Stay here for a couple of breaths. See if you can really take the time to let the breath be full. Good, then lower down. And let's meet in downward facing dog or your version of it. Again, about 3 slow, full breaths. Maybe thinking about how millions of people around the world for thousands of years have done some of these exercises. How we are always part of something bigger. It's never just about us. One more breath. All right, we'll get that left foot to the top of the mat. If you like three-legged dogs, swing it up to the air and then swing it to the top. Good, then we'll step the right foot up to meet it, forward fold. On your inhale, rise all the way up. Take a stretch and exhale, hands to your heart. Good, we'll move a little faster here. Inhale to reach out and up. Exhale, fold down. Hands touch the ground. Step the right foot back. You can plant the foot and then rise up. Big inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, sweeping your arms back and down. Squeeze the shoulders together. Inhale, rise up. Straighten the left leg as you rise up. Exhale, bend the left knee, fold forward and down. Inhale, rise up, straightening the left leg. This time, keep it straight as you exhale, hinging forward and down into pyramid pose. You can grab the blocks. You can put softness in your knees. You can let the head hang heavy. Imagine pulling your left hip back in space. Stay here for a breath. Let's walk the hands forward. You can bend the knees to get there if needed, and step into your left leg. Kick your right foot back in space. Drop the right hip down. Core muscles engaged. You can keep your hands grounded or start lifting your hands off of the ground, bringing your hands together at your chest, or stretching your arms out, exploring Virabhadrasana 3. Another option, sometimes it's fun to bring your hands together back behind you if you can catch fingers, interlacing them. And you might even look ahead to the distance. One more breath. And then find your way to mountain pose. Stand up tall. Big breath in. Total breath out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Hands touching down on the ground. Step the left foot back and out. Plant that foot. On an inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hinge forward, sweeping the arms back and or down and back. Dekasana. Inhale, rise up. Straighten the right leg as you rise up. Exhale, bend the right leg, hinge forward and down. Inhale, rise up, straightening the right leg, then keep it extended as you exhale, hinge forward and down for a few breaths in your pyramid pose. As you get there, you can go ahead and let the head drop, let the neck enjoy some time without effort. All right, put a little bend in your right knee, walk the hands forward a bit, and step into your right leg. Balancing on the right leg, do the best you can. You can flex the left ankle and imagine pointing those left toes over to the right side. Engage your core. See if you can lift your hands off of their foundation. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Whatever it takes to get there, whatever version feels most right. Maybe you look ahead. Good, then let's set our left foot down, fold forward. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Big breath in here. Let it go. Okay, coming back down to your mat. If you've got blocks, we can squeeze one between our legs. Keep the other one with you as you roll onto your spine. We'll take a couple rounds of just lifting the hips and lowering them down. So bringing the feet as close to the hips as they can get. If you're using a block, squeeze it and press the hips up to the sky. Maybe walk your shoulders towards each other a little bit. Maybe lift your chin towards the sky a little bit more. And lower the hips down. Do that again. And lower down. One more time, lift up. Squeeze your glutes like you could push them straight up to the sky. And then if you've got that other block, you can set it under your hips, under your sacrum, that plate-like bone at the base of your spine. So it should feel comfortable or kind of like not much at all. If you feel anything poking or jabbing, then I would rearrange. All right. We could press our palms down into the ground, press your upper arms down into the ground, and maybe you explore drawing your knees in towards your chest, and maybe straighten your legs up to the sky. Give yourself a few breaths, any version of a bridge pose or supported bridge. All right, if the legs are in the sky, put your feet back on the ground. We'll lift our hips and remove the block that might be under them. Release the block from between your legs. With your feet on the ground, stretch your arms out. Let your legs fall over to the left side. If you want to take any other version of a twist here, go for it. Just a breath or so. And then releasing through center and taking it to the other side. And back through center. Give yourself a moment of rest. So choose what would feel best to your body today. Maybe it's staying just as you are. Maybe stretching your legs long or bringing your legs into bound angle, soles of the feet together. You can let the breath just flow softly in and out, or you can use this time to really fill up with fresh breath. A clear and compassionate heart-mind perceives reality as it actually is. In my search for truth, I can change my mind when new and sensible information presents itself. Good. As you feel ready, you can make your way up to an easy seat, giving yourself a stretch as you get there. Noticing how you feel after your efforts and your breath. Let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts. And if you'd like to close with one Om, we'll take a big breath in. Om. Thank you for sharing your practice. I look forward to seeing you next week, next month.